Alright, got Puzzle Fox back out here in the garage. We're out here working on some stuff for the Puzzle Fox. So what I was doing here is I was trying to make up some dollies. So as you know, we got the car up on jack stands. I'm just kind of doing my own little makeshift dollies. I cut up some brackets here so they'll bolt up to where the K-member had bolted up to, and some brackets that kind of bolt in where the quad shocks bolted into. Then I got this steel. I grew up on a farm and went back to my dad's place a couple of weeks ago. And this is just like some main square steel tubing from an old chisel plow that he had cut up. So I'm just making some dollies here. And I'm going to see what I can do. It's going to be kind of makeshift. I got some legs, if you will, built up for it to go onto this main cross beam. And then I'm going to set that on top of these old dollies here. So we're going to see how this works out. What I'm thinking is I'll get that stuff set up. I'm going to put that main beam there onto the dollies, then weld those angle iron pieces on top of the legs, bolt them into where the K-member was. And then I'll probably build some other brackets off of the legs to go back from where from where the legs are here, and bolt into where the rear part of the K-member bolted in, just to kind of give it some stability. But my whole purpose here is I want to get the car so that I can roll it in and out of the garage. I'll probably put some kind of anchor or eyelet in the floor, or figure something out so that I can use a come along or something like that to kind of let it roll out of the garage, because I want to be able to sandblast a little bit underneath where there's some more of those surface rust spots, and get that stuff cleaned up, and then maybe be able to put some undercoating or paint on the underside of the car with it sitting outside of the garage or something. But that's my thought process for now. So I'm gonna fire up the welder. Got that moved over here and plugged in, and see what kind of damage I can do. So I'll catch up with you guys in a little bit again. Well, it's a couple hours later. Took a break to have some dinner and relax for a couple of minutes. Got back out in the garage. Just thought I'd show you my progress. So I got my little Jimmy rigged dolly set up here. So I got everything all welded together. I'm loving having my own welder and just being able to crank this stuff out. But I got it all up in there. I welded up the legs to this cross beam first, and then I ended up bolting those brackets here to each of the frame rails. Just use a jack. And I know you're not supposed to jack on the core support, but I did put a board across, and I figure, well, I don't have an engine and everything in here, so the car should be a lot lighter. And I'm actually debating replacing this with a tubular one, but we'll see how that goes when we get to that point. It is a little bit jacked and tweaked up there already from someone previous to me. So, but anyways, got that bolted up there, jacked the car up, put these onto the little car dollies and tilted it up, jacked the front end of the car up, and slid the dolly with this cross beam and the legs underneath, and kind of got it centered up about as best that I could figure out. And then slid it under, set the car back down on it, and just welded it on underneath. And as you can see, those are completely sitting up on their own now. I don't know if I'd trust moving it around on these dollies right now. As you can see, I think things aren't perfectly square, because that dolly moves around underneath there. So I think things aren't true and square to the world, unless that's because the back end's still on the jack stands. So we'll see how it kind of evens out. I'll play around with it a little bit. not too concerned. I wanted to be able to get these jack stands out of here at least and get the front end sitting up on these dollies, because I have a project for the truck. I realized I had done this video for the stands for the Mustang a while ago. You can see it's back on the front jack stands because I kind of skipped past some stuff and welded in some other panels. I'll get to that in another video. But I did these stands, these dollies for the Mustang. In the last I showed, I didn't have these firmly mounted here, so I would just ended up welding on some angle iron just on one side. As you can see, there's nothing on the back side. So one side just to kind of keep it stable on these car dollies. Again, this is just kind of my makeshift work here just to get this thing up on stands. So this is the front one that bolted under the K-member. So those bolts are right where the K-member are. Those are bolted kind of firmly on there. And I still need to build some braces that go from that stand back to the rear K-member. And here's, ignore the dog under the car, we got kind of a mess here. But sharing the garage / shop with my son for the summer while he's home from college. But you can see I did the same on the back here. Ignore the drive shaft that's in here. So that's just there. The rear mounts up to just the rear hole for one of the quad shocks. Again, that's the only bolt holding it there, but there's a little bit of length here to kind of keep it stable. But I do plan on building something to go from here to where the control arm bolted into or something like that in case I want to roll it out of the garage. So got Barney the shop dog chewing on his bone or something here. But that's basically how it sits right now. Like I said, I took that front piece off and put it back on the jack stand since I was welding in some other stuff. Again, that I'll show in one of my next videos. So that's where it's at. That's how the dollies are. And it actually rolls very nice with that front dolly under there. I've actually moved the car around quite a bit and it rolls nice and easy.